So my name is Eugene Awimbo. I started building rockets in the year 2009. I was very interested in everything that flies, and especially rockets. I also built planes and sold to my friends and to people in offices. They used to like them because they could put them as decorations. And I also built models of the iconic rockets that we know, for instance, the Saturn V. So it started in a rather shaky manner because what I used to build, they could fly, yes, but they were not very stylish. And as time went by, I got better, started building rockets, launching them for kids in schools and for the public, and also as an entertainment for myself in the house. So currently, I've taken it a bit more serious, and what you can see behind me is due to launch. It started out of passion. It was shaky at first because I started building from cardboard and launching using simple chemical formulas. And then I got a bit more serious, started building bigger ones, launching them for the public, and launching them for schools, launching them for my family, sometimes launching them alone just for me. Then it got more serious as to now what you can see here. The very simple ones I make from cardboard. So I just do the measuring, and there's some mathematics involved. Simple for the simple ones and a bit complex for the bigger ones. So what I usually do is the very simple ones I launch with pressurized bottles, whereby I just put some water in a 2-liter bottle and add a substance that can make it a bit more dense, like salt or soap. So those are the relatively safe ones that I teach the children with. So when I go to school, I launch the pressurized bottle with water and I pump air into it, and there's a release mechanism that I pull and it goes up. You can build rockets from 3 basic materials. You can build it from balsa wood or cypress. You can build it from aluminum tubes or steel tubes. So this particular one here is actually not going to weigh 250 kilograms because I've made a choice of a very light motor, yet very powerful. So this one weighs 90 kilograms empty, and the motor will be about 70 kilograms. So it will be around 150 kgs. So it's supposed to, because it's the first model I'm going to test of this size, it's going to go about 3 kilometers in about 5 seconds high. Yes. And it's supposed to just come down and plunge into the ground, because if I use a parachute, it may just veer into places I don't want it to go to. Yeah. So it's just an experimental rocket. If it succeeds, then now I'll go very serious and build one that can probably go to about 140,000 feet into the atmosphere. Apart from being just a hobby, I aim to pass the knowledge I've accumulated in building rockets to other people. And the best places to do that, as I've found out, is in schools, where I teach kids on how to build cardboard rockets, and I also talk about how to build complex rockets like this one. So I also aim to maybe, in future, start a company that launches satellites into space, or maybe playing a part in the general space exploration, and also have an idea of creating a space park. Yeah, where people just walk in, and now you see that rocket behind there. It's about 10% done. It's a replica of a Starship, the ones you see being built by SpaceX. So my plan is to have it stand somewhere like it's ready to launch when it's complete. It's at a scale of 1 to 17. That means the real Starship being built by Elon Musk or SpaceX is about 17 times bigger. So I actually plan to have several other rockets, not only that one, replicas of like the Saturn V, the Atlas, the Space Shuttle, and that Starship you see over there. There's also the Falcon. There are many rockets, I think you know them. Yeah. There's many rockets. I've made proposals to even companies not necessarily relevant to space exploration or rocketry. And so far, the responses I've gotten are akin to maybe it's a far-fetched project, maybe rocketry is expensive, it's not popular here, which is contrary to my experience teaching kids. And but I've not partnered with any space institution yet. Yeah. Yes, I do have permission from the local government, not from the top government as it is, but I'm making plans. I'm making what do I say? I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to get in touch with them to get license for launches, but as it stands now, because I'm not sending something up, the local authorities' permission is just enough for me. Yeah, but I've sent emails to the government to give me the licenses, and so far it's still awaiting. It's a waiting process. I was told I would get it probably in about 2 years. Yes, most likely I will have launched a rocket. I will have built a rocket that's able to maybe put something in the near Earth orbit, or I will have maybe gotten sponsorship from a major space industry. But if none of that happens, then I'm still going to make sure I play a part in all the space exploration stuff. Basically, I really dream of putting satellites. The moment reason you see I use very basic materials is because this project is actually very expensive. It's not like I can't use the proper materials, but if you look at people who engage in high power rocketry, these are the materials they use. But now for serious space exploration, you need very optimum materials, which I cannot afford now. But maybe in 5 years, like you asked me, I'll be able to afford them, and I'll be able to play a very good part in matter space exploration. I've spent about 300,000 just building the basic, because everything has to be customized, and customizing any part is not cheap. So just to build the internal structure, which I've made of wood and some metals, plus the iron sheeting here, it has taken me about 350,000 shillings, and it's right now at its 40%. So a lot of things are needed. For instance, there is that gadget to make it go straight into the sky, not veer off. It's called a gyro stabilization system. Then there's a recovery system that I need to put somewhere up there, and there's the motor, which costs about $15,000. And now there's there's the transponder that tells me where it is at any given time, because this one will not just go straight into the air. It will make a slight loop and come down. But that by the time it's done, it will be about 3.6 million shillings will have gone into it. Yes, because there's also the launcher that I'm supposed to build. Apparently, I cannot launch it anywhere that is within an occupational area where people live. But if I have to do that, then the nearest person or a nearest resident should be about 10 kilometers from where it's supposed to launch. That is if it has to go straight and come straight down and deploy into the ground. But if it has to use a parachute, then it has to be launched somewhere like the Broglio Space Center in Malindi, where it just is directed into the ocean. I've been making inroads into talking to the relevant authorities that mans the Broglio Space Center. So that's where this one is going to be shot at. Yes, I can't say how much I'm going to make maybe in 5 years, because I told you, as I mentioned before, I do it as a passion, and somewhere in the middle I thought I could actually make it something that is beneficial not only to me but even to any industry, any agency dealing with space stuff or wanting to launch satellites. So as it stands right now, I'm just trying to make a point that I can do it, as much as I don't have the finances. So if I really get an environment where I can just pause kidogo. So what I'm trying to say is that if conditions are permissive enough in terms of finances, I can build something that a rocket like this that launches a microsatellite into space. So it's not much about how much I can make, but how much I can contribute into matters like matters such as this, launching satellites or just doing research into rocketry. I'm a transcriptionist, and when that is when I'm not doing that, I also am a roofer actually. I build roofs, building roofs. I teach kids at school and at a fee sometimes. I do it for free. And I also try to raise funds from friends and strangers. So if I get any little thing, I put it straight into rocketry, into this project.
Okay.
Yeah, not much is coming from friends, or most of what I do comes from me.
Okay.
Yes.
So finally we are finishing.
But I can say, just to be fair, there's a friend of mine. He's called Mark Mattis. At once in a while, he can send me something little to buy tools, because the tools for building these things, as I mentioned, customization is not easy and it's not cheap. So you find that a lot of cash go into replacing tools and also customizing parts, which tend to be quite costly. I'm having plans for a space park. It's kind of like a space museum. And that's why you see that replica of a starship over there. It's one of the rockets I plan to stand in the middle. Then just within the space park, there should be a telescope. Because if you really want to instill interest into people, you let them actually engage practically. So a telescope is for looking into the skies at night and seeing the planets, maybe the things you can't see with the naked eye, look at the stars. So you see that they get inspiration from that, and they know that to explore those things, you have to use rockets. And also you might find some people interested in astronomy or just rocketry, which contributes to astronomy being done in a more convenient manner. Yeah, so the space park basically is a place for inspiration for not only school children, but the folk in general. And in the space park, you should have more models of the iconic space rockets that you know, that have taken men to the moon or have taken astronauts around in orbit around the Earth, or has launched satellites. So basically what I really plan to do apart from launching the rocket is start a space park.